Ever walked away from a conversation just scratching your head or, wait for it, apologizing for something you didn't even do? Yeah, you are absolutely not alone there. Welcome to today's Explainer, where we're going to expose the underlying mechanics of manipulation. We are going to decode 8 common toxic tactics, really pulling back the curtain on this entire playbook. The goal here is so you can recognize these behaviors in real time, firmly protect your boundaries, and honestly, just stop questioning your own reality. Okay, let's map out our journey today. First, the illusion of care. Second, warping your reality. Third, weaponizing silence and space. Fourth, guilt and invisible teams. And finally, taking back your power. Section 1, the illusion of care. Tactics disguised as affection or help. So our first tactic is love bombing. And listen, what you really need to understand here is that love bombing, it's not actually about affection at all. It's about intensity. It hits you with this wild, rapid momentum. Huge compliments, constant texting, maybe even talks of forever on the second date. It creates this massive emotional high. But here's the catch. This intensity is literally just used as bait. Because once you're hooked, they completely change. They pull back and go cold. Because think about it, real connection takes time, space, and honesty to actually build trust. It grows quietly, right? Love bombing, on the other hand, is a fast-paced performance designed entirely for control. When they inevitably go cold, you're left blaming yourself, trying desperately to win back a version of them that never actually existed in the first place. Remember, you do not owe anyone an encore for a performance. Now, let's look at the white knight tactic. On the surface, this person looks like a total hero, showing up with solutions and all this deep concern. But in a toxic dynamic, they aren't just helping with problems. They're actively creating or stirring them up behind the scenes. They systematically chip away at your confidence so that you remain completely dependent on their rescuing. There is this quote from the source material that just hits the nail on the head. They build the fire, then show up with the hose. It perfectly captures the manipulation. Being the savior gives them power. They literally need you on your knees to stay relevant in your life. And if you start growing, setting boundaries, or, heaven forbid, solving your own problems, watch out. They will absolutely flip the script and call you ungrateful for everything they've done for you. Moving right along to Section 2, warping your reality. Tactics designed to make you doubt your own mind. Pretty much everyone has heard the term by now, but gaslighting isn't always this massive, dramatic blowout. Honestly, a lot of times, it's a slow drip. It's someone quietly and subtly rewriting the story over and over again. You remember something crystal clear, and they just casually tell you it never happened. It's confusion, doubt, and silence served up one small moment at a time until you start second-guessing your own gut and believing them more than you believe yourself. Take that classic phrase, "you're being too sensitive." Manipulators use this not just to disagree with your point of view, but to completely invalidate your emotions. The whole goal is to make you question what is real. If they can make you doubt your own version of reality, you become incredibly easy to control. And if you actually try to hold them accountable, watch out for the DARVO method. DARVO stands for deny, attack, and reverse victim and offender. It's basically psychological sleight of hand. The exact second you try to hold them to the fire, they deny it happened, attack your tone or bring up your past, and then totally flip it so they are the victim. Suddenly, your honesty is being treated as cruelty, and somehow you are the one apologizing. Don't take the bait. Stick to your facts. All right, Section 3, weaponizing silence and space. Tactics that use absence and inconsistency. Look, silence can absolutely be peaceful and healthy in a relationship. Sometimes we just need a break. But the silent treatment, that is an entirely different beast. It's using cold, distant silence, not as a needed pause, but as a direct punishment. They go completely unreachable until you just give in. It forces you to apologize just to end that unbearable quiet. The manipulator is using this to teach you a lesson, that they and they alone control when the relationship feels safe. So how do you disarm this? You've got to stop chasing the noise. You just have to tell them clearly, I won't be punished with silence. Let them know that if they're upset, you are totally open to talking, but communication is a two-way street. Call out what is happening, name it, and hold your ground. Then we have breadcrumbing. You probably know this one. It's when someone gives you just enough attention to keep you completely emotionally hooked. It's a random text every few days, maybe a random compliment, just dropping another little crumb. The goal here isn't connection, it's pure control. It keeps you stuck in this exhausting loop of anticipation and letdown, hoping they'll actually follow through, while they get to stay completely unaccountable. It's basically emotional clickbait, and it leaves you totally in limbo. You've got to stop trying to decode all their vague little actions. If they always leave you guessing, you need to decide that it simply isn't enough. Consistency speaks infinitely louder than charm, folks. You deserve a lot more than emotional clickbait and leftover crumbs.
Let's dive into Section 4, Guilt and Invisible Teams, Tactics that use social pressure and emotional debt.
Guilt tripping is incredibly sneaky, mostly because it rarely actually looks like manipulation. It's almost never yelling, right? It's a heavy sigh, it's a loaded pause. It's designed to make you feel like you failed in this invisible way, essentially turning your care into currency and your genuine kindness into a debt that you constantly have to repay. When they drop lines like, well, after everything I've done for you, man, they are actively manipulating your empathy right there. They're punishing you simply for holding a healthy boundary. The whole goal is to make the act of you saying no make you feel completely selfish. But remember, real guilt comes from your own values. Manipulated guilt is just someone else's control tactic. And then there's triangulation. This happens when a manipulator pulls a third person into a conflict just to build an alliance. Instead of, actually talking to you directly, suddenly they drag a friend, a sibling, or an ex into the dynamic. And boom, you're no longer just having a normal disagreement with one person. You feel vastly outnumbered by an invisible team. Well, Sarah agrees with me. They love using this strategic little line to shift the entire focus. They're trying to win the problem, not solve it. It makes it seem like you're the difficult common denominator, forcing you to fight an entire narrative instead of discussing the actual issue at hand. To stop this, you literally have to pull the triangle apart and insist they talk to you directly, not through other people. Which brings us to our final part, Section 5, Taking Back Your Power, Synthesizing Your Defenses. To break this cycle of manipulation, you've really got to build up your defense toolkit. First off, slow down. Start observing patterns instead of promises. Trust your gut and literally document your truth to fight off that gaslighting. Pull apart those messy triangles by saying, talk to me, not about me. Refuse to take the Darvo bait by sticking strictly to the facts. And most importantly, hold your ground against weaponized guilt and silence. Honestly, you have to stop explaining yourself to someone who is actively pretending not to understand you. Always remember that true accountability is never an attack, and standing up for your truth isn't cruelty. So I'm going to leave you with this final, absolutely vital thought to reflect on today. Take a step back and evaluate the dynamics in your own life. Who is currently writing the narrative? And are you finally ready to step out of their storyline, take back the pen, and set your own terms?